going on my walk right now. Want to test something out. Usually when I go on my walk, I have these profound epiphanies, these ideas that come to my mind. So sometimes I feel like I have so many wasted ideas. I talk to myself on my walk. I have so many wasted ideas that I never recorded. So I'm trying this out, see what comes up. But right now I was just talking to myself about when you really understand that trauma is passed through the DNA. Like I've been saying this a lot, right? But when you really understand it, when you have this epiphany, you have this awakening, you understand that these things are passed down to you. Your parents' baggage and their parents' baggage, your ancestral baggage is passed on to you. Think about that for a second. This is not a woo-woo concept. This is not some far out spiritual topic. It's the truth. It's a fact. When you think about it, just think about simply, like I said, when you understand that DNA, what is DNA? It's information. It's genetic information. So it's simply that. It's just genetic information. So what does that mean? It means that you literally are the genetic makeup of your mother and your father. You are literally them. Not on a soul level, right? But we're talking about genetic, the physical, mental, emotional, these things, right? There's a spiritual aspect is different, but the same, but different. So it's like, okay, like I'm always saying about in this life, I'm always saying, that it's simply this, some people, you're given a certain hand in life, you're dealt a certain hand of cards, and this reality is a game. You got to play the game with the hand that you've been dealt, with the hand that you've been given. When you understand that, right? So like I'm always saying too, is that some people have it easier than others. Some people have it worse than others. That's just how it goes, right? That's just how it goes. That's just the name of the game. And you have to make do with the best with what you've got. And life's not fair. That's just how it is. And I'm sorry that that's how it is, and I have to tell myself that. But like I said, when you understand about epigenetics, that's what it is. When I'm saying trauma is passed in the DNA, it's epigenetics. Look into epigenetics. And I was watching a video the other day about how this new YouTube channel I found was explaining exactly what I talk about this lab rat study, right? He was explaining how it was a lab rat study. These scientists were studying lab rats, right? And so here's what they did. They took a large male rat, right? And they were implementing this certain scent. I forget what the scent was, but it was a certain scent of like a flower or something. Let's just say that. It was a certain scent. And when they implemented that scent, the rat would start to smell it. And when they did that, they would shock him. They would electrocute him. And so over time, this male lab rat started to put two and two together that every time he smelled this scent, he was going to get electrocuted. So every time they implemented that scent, and obviously they're doing brain activity, right? Scans of the brain. And so they would notice there would be a peak anxiety in the rat, fear. Every time that scent would go off, he would get afraid, right? And so they took the study a step further. They put him in a cage with a female rat, had that male rat impregnate the female rat. Then that female rat had babies, and they noticed that some of the babies, I don't know how many babies she had, but the point of the story, the point of the study is that some of the babies, I don't know how many, or all of them, or one of them, or what. But let's just say some of them, right? Some of these baby rats, when they started to smell, they would implement that scent again in the cage. These baby rats started to show that same peak of anxiety, same peak of fear in the brainwave activity, just as their father did. And they never electrocuted the baby rat. So it shows that fear, that these things were passed through the DNA from the father rat to the baby rats. Isn't that powerful? It's almost common sense, right? But like when you really stop to think about it, like that's what I'm doing right now. Like, I'm always talking about it, but it's like when you really think about it, it's like, wow, it's like, And I like what she said too about, what is personality? It's your thoughts, your beliefs, thoughts, beliefs, actions, about yourself, thoughts, beliefs, actions about others, about the world. That's your personality, right? And that personality creates your personal reality. So if you want to change your personal reality, you need to change your personality. So, I just put out a video on my YouTube, and I was watching myself talking about, the trauma of my 20s, with relationships. And I just saw a sad guy. I saw a guy who's been battered by women, I guess you could say. And like I said, I can't put all the blame on them. I played some faults in that as well. But I just think it's interesting. As I was watching that video of myself, it makes me realize, and it was like, there was a chapter in the book one of the first law of attraction books that I read in my mid-20s was called The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. And sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I'm walking uphill. But like I said, I usually have these great epiphanies as I'm going for my walk. I should have done this a long time ago. But getting back to my point, in this book, The Success Principles, I completely forgot about one of the chapters. One of the principles was act as if. Act as if. And what this principle means is, like, there's a certain goal or a certain person you want to be. There's a certain goal you want to achieve. You need to act as if, and so I think the example he gave in the book was, it was some kid who worked at a bank, and he wanted to be the head, like the bank manager or whatever, right? And so he was a kid, and he was a teller. And so he just was always the teller. But it was, the bank teller. But there was something that he did where he started changing the way he acted, the way he behaved, the way he communicated, the way he dressed. And he acted as if he was the manager. Before he even became the manager, he just started acting like he was it, and he became it. And so, another thing that comes to my mind is like, okay, I started to get better at DJing. You know how? It's because I would record myself on camera and literally watch it back. You got to understand the power of recording yourself doing something, and that's how you're going to get better, because you can actually judge it, fairly, like, as an outside perspective, and be like, all right, like, so I started to notice, like, okay, I need to improve my transitions here, and there's different things I could do better, right? And I started to get better when I would record myself on video and on audio, right? But video is important, stage presence and all that. But like I said today, watching that video of myself, I just saw a sad, battered man, right? And it's like, I didn't realize, like, dude, that's who I am. I didn't realize it. Like, that's who I am. That's who I've been. What happened to me? I used to be different. I used to be more confident. And so, like, I don't want to, like, put shame on myself. Like, it is what it is. But it makes me realize, like, dude, that's who I became. Like, I need to get out of that. So I need to act as if. So it makes me realize just how everything in reality, there's seasons, right? So it's okay. This was a season. This was a season. A season doesn't define the rest of your life. A season doesn't define who you are. It sets you on the healing path, but now come out of it and go act as if, go exude that confidence. There's so many things about my life that I've realized, like, I create this, and I know that these relationships with these women were to teach me a lesson. I created it. It's from like I'm always saying, that this reality is merely a reflection of this reality is a reflection of your inner state. So I have to understand, like, wait a minute, like, sure, these things happen to me, and it's more complicated than just black and white, but sure, these things happen to me, but what did I do to create it? I allowed it. If these partners didn't value me, didn't respect me, that means, what does that mean? It means I didn't respect myself. So I need to value and respect myself. That's what a lot of people need to do, right? How many people out there are just playing the victim? How many people out there are just doing these things and they're not changing their thoughts, beliefs, and actions? They're not changing their personality. So if they don't change their personality, they can't change their personal reality. So if I want to change my personal reality, I need to change my personality. And that might be weird for the people who know me. If I start acting like this confident guy and all that, just acting, right? But it's tuning into a frequency. It's tuning into a frequency where do it in a way where it's not acting. Like, sure, it's a little bit acting, but do it in a way that's real and authentic. So I was going for my walk right now, and just these little things, right? Like, I usually do them, you know, but when you're going on my walk, right? And you're about to cross paths with someone that's walking towards you, they're going the other way. Like, just look at them and just, hey, how you doing? That's how it starts. Building that confidence is initiating contact. You know, it's not waiting for people to say hi to you. Like, you say hi to them, initiate contact. And that's just one little thing that I'm thinking of. But there's so many things that I need to change about the way I navigate this world. And let's see if I do it. But yeah, I'm just kind of going on a rant here. But, you know, it's so powerful when you realize, you know, basically what I was talking about earlier too is energy. I'm always talking about energy. Energy is the truth. When you understand energy, that's what this reality is too, is like learning how to work with and manipulate energy. So like I just said, epigenetics, traumas, fears, all these things are passed through your ancestry, through your DNA. DNA is just information. So of course it's passed to you. It's genetic info. It's genetic memory. That's all it is. Of course it's of course. So when you understand that just means shit. I had this stuff passed on to me, so I got to work a little harder to heal it. But it's also the greatest gift. It's also the greatest gift that my dad could have gave me, because most other people are just skating by throughout life, and they're just content, like they're just all right, you know. So they're not gonna have that drive to go on the healing journey. They're not gonna have that drive to heal, pursue the spiritual path. They're gonna miss out on a lot. So my darkness is my greatest curse and blessing at the same time. So that darkness that was passed on to me is here, so I can alchemize it and transmute it into light. And that's the path that I've been on. I still have more work to do. But like I said, just watching that video today made me realize, like, damn, dude, like, that's the guy I became. Like, I used to be different. I let all these circumstances knock me down. And sure, I'm still here and I'm still fighting. But I need to go back to the way I used to be. I think there was a period in my life in about my early to mid 20s when I was more confident. But yeah, you know, all these things happen, right? And it kind of changes you. And like I said, it's okay. I got to the top of the hill. Like I said, it's okay. It's okay that these things knock you down. It's okay that these things change you, but don't let it define you. It's a season. You know, what do they say too? That people come into your life for a reason, for a season, or a lifetime. So these people came into my life for a reason and a season. Don't let it define my lifetime. These people came into my life to help me learn and help me grow. And I've come into people's lives to help them learn and grow. And that's what we're all doing. And so anyways, I'm just kind of sharing some thoughts that I'm having. And like I said, it's making me realize just, you know, don't be a victim. Don't be a victim to your circumstances. There are things that are passed on to you that are out of your control. And that just means you got to work a little harder to heal it. But there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, you can work to heal it, but the stuff that's passed on to you, it is what it is. So do what you can to heal it, but now you got to be more selective. You got to be, you know how they say, you got to heal your energy, raise your vibration, raise your frequency. And you know how they say, oh, like your presence is the present, right? Like your presence is a gift. When people say things like that, like that's what it becomes. As you heal your energy, you raise your vibration, you heal yourself. Your presence becomes a present, because people will value your higher energy. So that's what we all need to be doing. We need to be selective with who we interact with. We need to be selective with who we engage into sexual acts with. That's a big way to take on people's energy. When you think about sex, what does that stand for? sacred energy exchange. You exchange energies. So if you sleep with a partner who's had a lot of partners, they have a lot of energy within their energy from other partners. So you need to be very selective. You need to do this cord cutting, look into cord cutting. You need to heal your energy. You need to be selective with who you interact with. You need to be so selective with your energy. And there's nothing wrong with that. And, sometimes that's easier said than done, certain family members or friends and stuff like that. You can't just always cut them off necessarily. So sometimes it's easier said than done. But those people, those are the ones that you don't give up on. And it just makes me think that just the scenario of if there's someone out there who's just negative and toxic and they're not changing, if they're not changing and they're not working to change, those are the ones you got to let go, or spend way less time with. But the ones that are working to heal and that are working to change, those are the ones that are there. That's fine. That's great. That's great. That's perfect. We should all be doing that. But, for the ones who are already, in a good place, but that's the thing too. It's a lifelong path. It's a lifelong journey. And, this is just what's coming to my mind right now as I went on my walk, and I just thought I would record it. But just kind of closing it out here, just understand energy, learn how to work with the energy, manipulate the energy, and act as if. Fuck it, who cares? Act confident. If you want to be confident, just fucking act. Even if it's an act. Do it until you become it. Do it until you become it. That is the truth of this reality too, is like we're all just wearing different masks, different characters that we play. We're all actors, man, on this grand stage of life. We're all just fucking actors, man. So act. Who do you want to be? Act like that person, and you will become it. And so I'm just having this epiphany right now. Now let's see how I change, how I implement. If I implement, I think I will. It'll be subtle, I think. I don't know, we'll see. But there's some other things that I want to work on, and I'm just recording this right now because I thought it was a powerful epiphany, and I hope you take value out of it. Bye.